Welcome to the Yup Life podcast. You spend 7 years of your life in the bathroom.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are fortunate today. We have our third guest on the podcast, Eddie Menendez. Welcome.
Thanks.
Have you guys met Steven and Eddie?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we're always drunk though.
All right.
What's up, dude?
Eddie's a good friend of mine, and thank you very much for doing this.
Yeah,
I
man.
hope you're going to enjoy this. If not, sorry.
We'll do it again.
We'll do it again.
That's true.
Guys, what are we drinking?
Let's start with the drinks.
Ooh.
This was Eddie's choice by force.
Where's
I pried it out of him. So the drinks are Old Fashioned. It's probably my favorite drink. The bourbon is Woodford Reserve.
Nice.
I don't know. Does it have a year on it? It's like Distiller Select. I don't think it has a year on it, but it's good.
I'll take your word for it.
Where can you find these at?
Bevmo, Total Wine. You can't. I mean, the drink is handmade. Do you guys even like Old Fashions?
I think I like the idea of old fashioned. Just kidding. I don't remember. We'll see.
Apparently,
go.
you got to sip it.
You can feel the hair growing.
Oh, my God.
You got to make this last the whole episode.
That's going to... Okay. I got to last the whole episode?
Yeah. Today is the day where you become a man.
Uh-oh.
My voice gets deeper at the end of the podcast. So, Eddie, you were asking, beginning, what is a yuppie, right?
The premise of our podcast is to just kind of talk about life as a young professional. And people usually take professional as being like someone who's educated, someone who's got a really well-paying career. Even like talking to people and asking them like, hey, do you want to be on the podcast? And they're telling me, oh, I'm not a professional. I probably shouldn't. And we're trying to break that kind of stigma or stereotype of like, you have to be this elitist person or like middle upper class person to be a yuppie. And like the literal definition of a yuppie is a young urban professional. Mm-hmm. So pretty much anyone in their mid to late 20s with a decent job or goals or like a solid career is a yuppie. So like, I don't know, have you ever heard or have you ever been called a yuppie?
Nah.
You've never heard the term?
Not that I can recall, no.
Okay. So it's like I think it was coined in the 80s, but it was like those guys that live in New York, live in high-rise apartments. Mm-hmm. They're wearing suits every day to their Wall Street job and spending money. Like, I think the Urban Dictionary was like buying a $500 lobster.
Yeah. You could think of like American Psycho.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie?
No.
Stop this. Let's watch it. We'll come back.
But that's like the stereotype, and we don't want to portray that because that's not really what it is. And we just kind of talk about topics that are relevant to young people's lives.
Cool.
Knowing you, Eddie, I find you very, very successful in what you do and everything. I find you're doing very, very well for yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're happy to have you on here to help break that stereotype, because we're not, like Joey was saying, we're not, how do you call it?
Elitists?
Yeah, no. We're just regular people, just getting day by day and stuff like that. So
ask him his number. Ask him his number.
I'll get that later. I'll get that later.
I'm excited just to get to know Eddie a little bit more. I feel like we are always drunk whenever we see each other, and just like
we should know each other more then.
That is true.
You just don't remember it. That's the problem.
That's probably it. We've had like the deepest conversations ever. Just
probably
don't remember it.
So let's hear your background, I guess. Were you born here in Arizona?
No, from California originally. Okay. And then right after the recession, my parents moved out here because they lost their house. We moved here. It was cheap. And then from there, just moved out. Actually bought my first house at 19. And then...
Nice. Dang.
Got into sales, went to school, found out I didn't want to go to school, and then I've been in sales ever since.
Nice.
So,
yeah, that's like a totally different take from what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Like the normal path is your parents tell you should go to college.
Right.
You should get an education. You go to school, you get into debt. Right. By the time you're 22, 23, you get out of school. You can't buy a house until you're in your late 20s. Exactly. So it's like a totally different path than any of us have taken or anyone we've talked to has taken.
Right. And that's
So
exactly.
you came out of high school and you went straight into a job.
Yeah, not even a good job, dude.
Yeah.
It was
What was
dude, I
your
worked
first
at
job?
Target,
Uh-huh.
and then I did refereeing Pee Wee football.
They paid you for that?
Yeah,
Dang.
it
Okay.
pays good, man.
Like
What?
per game, per hour? What?
Per game, $50 a game. You do like 4 games a day.
Yeah.
So
You take
200
bribes too, probably.
I didn't get that far. I was working my way to that.
There you go.
That's a tough job because you got parents yelling at you.
Oh
and-
yeah, dude, those are worse for sure.
Yeah. So what was your first like real job? I guess you could call it.
Real job, I guess. I was a sales manager at Sprint.
Mm-hmm.
So
At a specific store or
yeah,
like
the retail store. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh dang, dude! I heard managers like at any carrier store like get paid pretty well, and it's hard to move up, isn't it?
Not really. At
Okay.
least not where at the time I was at.
Yeah.
It was and it wasn't that well paying. And I didn't think so, at least.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So I left that. Actually, this guy came in to cancel his service. Next thing you know, he walked out with 2 new phones and an iPad and said, "Wait, what the hell just happened? Do you want a job?" And I was like, "Well, what do you got?" And he's like, "I work for Cox, blah, blah, blah." Talking a little bit. He threw a number out, and I was like, "That's better than what I'd make here." And then, so I signed up.
Dang.
So
Yeah.
you had an interview with this guy just through selling him something,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, pretty much getting him from canceling to getting some new shit he
Right.
doesn't need.
Do you work at Cox still?
Yeah, I was telling Ruben I'm actually probably not gonna work there any longer. Pretty soon I'm gonna quit.
Hopefully this airs after you quit.
No, I don't care.
true.
My boss is listening. I'm quitting.
Dang.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
And you're still in sales there.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your like daily life at your job?
At my job, this is probably why I'm leaving, man. It's starting to get boring. That's why I'm leaving. It's just see the original reason why I liked working there was it was like a startup inside of a large corporation. So Cox is known for all their like cable, internet, stuff like that. But when I started, it was about security. You don't really think about that when it comes to security. So we built this little tiny department into something large, and now it's just so big where I don't really have the impact that I used to have. So
Just got absorbed by the corporation.
Yeah, exactly. So
That sucks.
now I'm trying to get into like a tech startup. So
Nice.
that's my next goal.
As like a partner of it or like just as an employee
First,
of it?
just get in and see where it takes me. You
Mhm.
don't want to
Yeah.
run before you can walk. So,
Right.
Yeah. So we'll
Dang,
see how it
dude.
goes.
Is it like your idea, like the tech startup?
No, not my idea. I mean, I would start one if I had a team that was on the same page, but that's one thing that's kind of hard is just finding the right people to, get something like that going. So, no, I'm just going to find a company that has certain values and ideas that I'm also a match for. So,
You do a lot of research before you pretty much do anything. From what I've seen, you do a
Yeah.
lot of research.
You take calculated risks. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
that sounds better.
So you said you were 19 when you bought your first house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you like financially well off then already to buy a house? or-
No. I noticed all the housing, market crashing.
Yeah.
My uncle's a real estate broker, so I would talk to him and just about everything that's going on. And I started noticing the prices drop to
Shit.
ridiculous, like 60,000, 70,000 for a house, 3 bedrooms or whatnot.
That's a steal.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
unheard of now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was just curious, curiosity. So what do I need to do to buy a house? Because that doesn't seem like a lot. My parents bought their house for $400,000 in California. So 60,000, 70,000 means
Probably the same size too. And
dude, the house I bought is bigger than their house.
Really?
Yeah, almost twice as big. But I just did research on the the process it takes to buy a house. What kind of qualifications. So just kind of did what my research found, and then next thing you know, I had a house.
yeah.
And
Man,
Yeah.
19. I wasn't even thinking about buying a house.
Yeah, I was still like in my room jerking off, just not doing anything with my life.
Binging Netflix or something.
Yeah. Staying home. My mom was probably washing my clothes. Who knows?
You still did live at home at 19, right?
No, I think I moved out at 19.
Okay.
Yeah. No, wait.
No, you weren't.
Lies.
Yeah.
I was still at home.
You were still there.
Yeah.
You were still there.
Let's talk about your education. Like you said you tried to go to school. Like,
Well, I was going to school, but I didn't know what I was going to go to school for. So, like you were saying earlier, I don't want to just go into debt for my first 2 years. Let's say I go to ASU and I'm spending all this money for something I don't even know
right.
I'm going to use. So I just went to Australia, and then
The community college, right?
yeah,
Okay.
Australia Community College. And while I was going there, then that's when I started working at Sprint. So I was doing both at the same time. Then I started moving up, and I saw that I was making more than what a lot of the careers that you come out of school
Right.
were giving you.
Yeah.
So eventually, once I got to Cox, and I mean, my first year, in my opinion, I was making stupid money. I mean, I don't know what it means to anyone else, but my first year there, I made about $80,000. And I said, what am I going to school for?
That's,
I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So then that's when I left. I found out I can get what I want in untraditional ways.
Right.
So
That's always like the age-old question. I think it was actually a math problem in one of our classes. It's like, if you go to college, but you have to spend this money and you make this money at the end, like what point do you break even? What age do you break even of starting work at 18 or 16 or whatever versus going to college? And I don't remember the actual age, but it was like
It was old as
later
shit.
than it should have been.
Yeah. It was
So-
super old. It's
Really?
like you're closer to retirement than
Not
than
that-
anything.
not that
it
close,
was,
but-
dude. It was we had something like that and it was like 50 something.
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right, but
Yeah.
you know what it reminds me of, though, is the board game, The Game of Life.
yeah.
You ever
Yeah.
do that?
Mhm.
You just-
Love that
You
game.
got the little, you can go to school or you can go to work.
Right.
And, but at the end, you end up in the same spot, just depending on.
Yeah. You end up dead is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Dude, every time I play that game, I have at least 20 children. Like, I have like hella minivans, like just packed in with kids.
Hell yeah.
That's crazy though.
So
Uh,
I brain fart.
Eddie, I think that's definitely out of the norm though, man. Like just being able to go out and start making that amount of money or start being successful so
Yeah.
quickly, I guess. Do you like attribute that to anything? Like just work ethic?
I guess, honestly, just proving people wrong. That's always been my biggest motivation is, someone says you can't do, and it's like, watch me.
Did you always have someone telling you no or telling you don't do that?
My parents, yeah. I was never allowed to do anything, so I was pretty rebellious.
Okay.
So, I mean, I never did anything, like, super bad.
You weren't in jail or...
Yeah, right, But, yeah, I mean, earliest memory I can remember is my dad got a computer back in 98. First computer. This man's trying to set it up. Doesn't know how to set up his computers. Neither do I, but I'm tinkering with it, and I'm like, oh, I think I can set it up. He's like, no, you can't. You can't do this. I'm going to call Jeff. He's some computer software engineer or whatever. So while he gave up, I just went on there and started messing with the computer, and I set it all up back when setting computer was a little bit more difficult. And then that's when I was like, you know what? My dad's wrong. I did it. And then that was just like, from there on out, like, if I don't care what people say, I'm just going to keep doing what I want to do.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
That's dope.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like one of the hardest things too. I feel like a lot of the world is like telling you no, or like this is a direct path that you need to take.
right.
And for you to venture out of that, that's pretty awesome.
That's what I was saying is there's a lot of societal pressure on getting a degree in education. It's like a bachelor's degree is what a high school diploma was back in, whatever, 70s, 80s,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. But it's a lot of people go into it and they get degrees that are paying a little more than minimum wage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they spend all that money for nothing. So
right.
I'm a go ahead.
I was gonna say shout out to the arts majors.
Yeah.
Are you communication?
I don't want to bash them, but yeah, it's like you should pick something that's going to make you money. I know, like, you want to work and have fun while you're working, but you can't have a lifestyle if you can't support a lifestyle.
Yeah,
So
that is
I don't know.
crazy.
I don't even know why they have those kind of degrees unless you're going to become a teacher or something.
Yeah. Or I guess if you just want to learn and, I don't know, you don't really care about the money, but.
Yeah.
Piss off your parents too. Have the college
Well,
experience.
that's another thing is a lot of people go to school just because their parents want them to. That's a
Yeah.
huge thing, man.
It's a big one.
I mean, if they pay for it, sure, whatever. But that's not
Yeah.
usually the case.
Yeah, that's not the case. I mean, that's one thing my parents were pissed about once I dropped out of school, but,
Mhm.
you gotta choose yourself at the end of the day.
It's funny that they still push you to do that, but you're already successful. You're already being a productive member of society, but they were still trying to push you down this path that they thought was right.
Right. And there was there's definitely a lot of pressure. I mean, the only reason I stuck in the last 6 months of school is because they wanted to. I had already checked out.
Right.
So I think a lot of us do want to please our parents and follow what they want.
Of course.
And it's coming from a good place, but
yeah. Did they go to school?
No. My parents didn't really. My dad went to 3rd grade, and that was about it. He's from El Salvador, so I came here during the Civil War.
So he's maybe just trying to tell you to do the opposite of what he did.
Yeah,
because he thinks that's what's successful.
Yeah, or one of those things where you want your kids to have what you couldn't get, sort of thing. So
Right.
I see where it's coming from.
True.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's real inspiring because I just assume everyone goes to college, everyone gets in debt.
Yeah.
And they don't start their lives until their mid-20s, really. But and it's still like I just speaking to you and like hearing your story, you sound like a intelligent person.
Yeah.
Even though you're not educated.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the premise of this episode is that to be a yuppie, to be someone that's a professional, you don't have to be educated. You can just work hard and get there.
Right.
So
I got a super important question. Do you have anxiety about like anything?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
So
in specific or just like anything?
So just to give you a little background, this is a reoccurring theme.
Yeah.
Joey doesn't feel any anxiety ever. We're just balls of anxiety. Like, because I remember myself at like 19.
Yeah.
And just thinking of how much anxiety I had then, and like I wouldn't be able just to hold like a steady job. I got fired from my first job at Foot Locker. I moved up to be a manager, and then within 4 months, like
What'd you do?
I just sold shoes. Like
No,
like
I mean,
a
why'd
boss.
you get fired?
Oh, so there's a couple theories there. I just didn't really know how to like manage people. I was like super young, 17, 18.
Yeah.
And I was trying to be that cool boss.
Oh. Okay.
And it didn't work out. So yeah. But yeah, so I mean like this, like I don't know, speaking in public or this give you anxiety?
Kind of, but I don't know who said it. Were you the one they said that you love being late because it gives you like adrenaline?
Yeah,
Yes.
we told them.
Yes.
So it's the same thing. So I came here and I was like, it's kind of nerve wracking, but like it's exciting. Like I love being like nervous. Like it just, again, it just shows like I got something to prove, So I kind of use it to my advantage, I guess. But
It's awesome.
to answer your question, I get anxious about other weird stuff. So
it's not like money or your job. Like it's not the normal anxiety. It's stuff that's weird.
Well, normal is very subjective, I guess. But an example, I was watching Black Panther, was it like last month or something? I was in the movie theater, and then all I could think about was, what if someone comes and starts blasting on us in the movie theater? Because it's happened before, right? And I've never thought of it. I've gone to the movies. It's been years since that event happened, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, man, I just started freaking out. Like, I started sweating, and I was about to just walk out of
Seriously?
that. Yeah, man, I don't know why. I was like, what's going on? And then I stayed. I didn't leave. But then I walked out, and funny enough, my wife was watching a different movie in a different movie theater. So we met
At the same time?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we met up after the movie, and I told her, I was like, hey, I was really anxious. And she's like, no way, me too. I'm like,
What?
so
What the
freaking
hell?
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, so stuff like that. Just
That's not normal.
You see?
That's awesome.
I've had those thoughts too, but I'm just like, where are the exits? All right, I know the exits, I'm good. But that was about it.
Just got to be prepared.
Yeah. If you're like all the way in the back, you're like, I'm just going to hide because there's no way I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, aren't there usually only like 2 exits? They're all always like up in the front.
Yeah. Isn't it sad that you have to think about shit like that now?
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Like, what you have to go somewhere thinking worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But
Well, to turn that into a positive, definitely using anxiety for, like, twist it. Use it for, like, inspiration or motivation, I guess. Learn from Eddie, people.
Hey, it's not my
Yuppie
thought. I
life.
actually read that in a book.
that sounds easier said than done.
Yeah, no, it's hard, trust me. Like, yeah. I'm not as cool as you guys think I am, right?
I don't know,
I'm
dude.
pretty fucked up myself.
Eddie, don't let me down. I told him I got a cool friend. Come on, Eddie.
Ruben talked you up, man. Let's hear about like the fun stuff in your life, not the boring work. house, whatever. You are married, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that fun?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty fun, actually. A lot of people talk about, once you get married, your life's over. And
Right.
like, dude, I have a great marriage. A lot of people are like, oh, marriage is hard. I'm like,
You picked the wrong person.
yeah, it's not. I mean, it has its challenges. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
it's not hard. It's, as long as you work at it, she works at it, people want the same thing in the end. Then.
How old were you when you got married?
I was pretty young. I was 24, I believe.
It's funny that's pretty young now.
Yeah.
Right?
man.
But it is young.
Yeah,
How old are you now?
27.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we saw the average age was 29 or 30
Yeah.
for people our age.
Exactly.
So I think I've said it before, but it kind of falls back in line with you don't start your life until your mid-20s because you're in school, in
Yeah.
debt, whatever. You don't find someone, you don't get married until your late 20s. But it's funny because my dad was listening to the podcast and we were talking about marriage ages.
Yeah.
And he was saying, like, I told you guys that my parents got married when they were 20 or 21.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, back when the life expectancy was 50. He was like, damn, that's cold.
That's hilarious.
What is, like, your favorite hobby? Like, what do you like to do for fun?
Dude, traveling, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's something that's a yuppie thing to do for sure because you have the resources to do it.
Yeah.
yeah, and this is all right. I preach this so hard, man. Is people don't travel because they think they don't have the money, and there's always a way.
This
All
guy.
right, this guy.
I'm
all right,
really
I'm about
bad
to
at
school you
going.
Learn
right
him.
now, man. You're
Learn
about to
him.
learn how to travel for free.
Dang.
All right, maybe not 100%. No, but check this out. So this goes back to like researching, right? So
Yeah.
I want to travel. I didn't have a lot of money when I first got into traveling, so I'm like, what's another way to travel? And then I came across the Points Guide. Do you guys know about the Points Guide?
No idea.
All right, when you get a chance, go to pointsguide.com. But basically, he talks about gaming the banks and the credit cards to pay for your travel.
We talked about this.
You did?
Yeah, because I did that with Southwest.
Yeah.
So I have the companion pass and like 200,000.
200,000?
Yeah.
Damn. You gotta get rid of those, man.
I just got them like
Oh, okay.
recently.
Oh,
so
okay.
I've already booked like 2 flights for free
okay.
with
Yeah.
me and my girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't pay any money other than the money I spent on regular things. But go ahead.
No, yeah, dude, you know about it. So that's
Yeah.
my thing is just getting credit cards. And a lot of people think, credit cards are the devil. I'm going to go in debt. As long as you know what you're doing, then
Right.
you can use it to your advantage. So stuff like that, been able to travel a lot more. And, people say I'm bougie now because I want to go first class. But I'm telling you, man,
It's still free.
it's free, man. Yeah, and I'll post snaps, and I'm not trying to brag like, oh, I'm going first class. I'm like, I'll post a snap and say, hey, snap me. I'll teach you how to do this for free.
Dang,
But no
that's
one ever
dope.
snaps me back.
Dude, why don't you have like a blog or something
I
about
know.
this stuff?
I don't know, dude. I feel like I have too many hobbies. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just doing way too much.
So you wouldn't have time to have
I could
a
make
podcast
time.
or a blog or something.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I would want to do one. It's just, I'm kind of, I like camaraderie, man. I like doing, like, this is really fun with me. Like, I like doing stuff with friends, but I don't have a lot of that, I guess, in my personal life. Other people as enthusiastic about doing stuff as I am.
Well,
So that's where I struggle.
I don't either. I just had to do it and I dragged them along. So
Yeah, there we go.
Kind of. That's why I'm late to everything.
So what's I guess what's your favorite place to go to? Do you have a single place or do you like to just spread it out?
Spread it out. I guess so far my favorite place has been Japan.
Oh.
So that's where I recommend you have to go, man. It's like completely different. Just the culture, man. Like it's everything that's wrong with America is so right over there.
What? Explain
Yeah.
further, man.
All right. So, just coming from being a minority is how accepting they are of you being foreign.
Oh.
Like I went over there and you would think, all right, I'm going to Tokyo. They must speak a little bit of English. I went into a McDonald's, no joke, had trouble ordering a Big Mac at McDonald's. Like there's just no English over there.
Really?
Yeah. But they were so nice about it. You go here and someone doesn't speak English. Like the person at the counter is pissed off. Like,
Get out of our country.
Yeah, exactly. Learn
That
our
makes sense.
language over
Yeah.
there. They're like, oh, bowing, like, oh, no problem, no. I assume they're saying like no problem or something. But they walk me through it.
Fuck you.
They could be. But they bring me this menu, with pictures on it. I'm like, oh yeah, I want the whole card.
dope.
And they're like very accommodating. I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
man, this would never happen over there.
Yeah.
You know?
That's pretty dope.
Dude, it's so funny. Like you two sitting there at the end of the table, are polar opposites.
Yeah,
Almost in like every facet of your life.
Really?
we are.
Like,
We should hang out somewhere.
I know, dude.
Everything I lack.
We complete each other.
like this guy just got on a plane for the first time this year
Yeah.
or last year.
Dude, and oh my God. So I never sweated so much not doing a physical activity. Like legit. Like
Really?
yeah, just drenched. I was pretty scared.
What are you scared about exactly?
I don't know, man. I just had a lot of anxiety going down. Like you're just in a bus in the air. Like it doesn't make sense.
I hear that a lot though, and I'm always curious to find out the deeper root behind that fear.
And I think it's also like just hellish, like people shoved in. There's the smallest window possible, so like you don't feel or you don't know what's going on. I don't know, man. I didn't like it.
Did you hear those windows? They can break and kill you.
From recent stories,
Yeah.
I've heard.
Every time I like start thinking about this stuff, I just play to statistics because the last domestic flight that had an issue like that where someone died was like 2006, 9. Don't quote me on it. It was a long time ago. And it's just that shit never happens.
Yeah,
you should be more afraid of driving your car to work than flying in an airplane, in all honesty. But
I don't know. I lived a really weird life too. Like all the way until 18, I never went east of the I-17 either. So like I never.
you've been in the confines of 5 square miles.
Yeah.
But you know what it is also is, I can tell you and I are very logical in our thinking, and our emotion goes to logic first, where I've heard this a lot, and it's all emotion. I talked to one of my buddies, Terry, and same thing. He's like, I'm just so scared. I'm like, why? Like, I want to know. Please explain. Like, I want to know your way of thinking. And then I'm just thinking, that makes no fucking sense. He's like, I can't explain it. It's just, I'm scared, okay? I'm like, all right, well.
I watched a lot of novellas growing up, man.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I mean, you feel how you feel. So, it's just very, I'm just like, I want to know, like, where does it come from, you know?
Sometimes they call me a robot. I don't know why.
Yeah, man. When's the last time you cried?
Ooh, it's gonna get deep.
Actually, quick little story. The fires in Santa Barbara.
Deflecting, that's what a robot does.
No, those fires in Santa Barbara and the flooding.
Yeah.
My uncle's funeral in February? I think it's February. Yeah, they had those mudslides.
Yeah.
And his house got wiped out. So and he died in that. That was the last time I cried. It's usually at funerals.
It's pretty recent, man.
Yeah.
You're not a robot then.
No.
There we go.
Ruben, your turn.
I can't remember. I cry every time I drink, so.
Keep them coming.
It's awesome.
So, how other ways do you do traveling like the cheapest way of traveling? Is it only like doing the credit cards and stuff, like as in like opening accounts and trying to find ways to get those points, or is there other things that you do?
Just being resourceful, man. Just like, we're doing our bachelor party with JoJo, and we're looking at hotels, being resourceful, look at Airbnbs. We're now getting 4,000 square foot penthouse for the same price as a 1,400, foot square penthouse. So
per person, it's the same price.
Yeah, about same price.
But a lot more. Everyone gets their own bed now.
Yeah, 4,000 square feet.
4,000 square feet. Better get our own bed.
You guys want to talk about that trip at all or no? I'm really curious.
Are we just going to be there?
What are you curious about?
When they get
you guys
there?
want to go?
We're just going to be like chilling.
We just accidentally meet you there. Who's planning the trip? Is it because you are so resourceful, or because you took on the job yourself? Because you're that kind of person?
Yeah, dude, I guess I just love planning stuff out. Like, it just needs to be right.
Fucking complete opposite, dude. This is so crazy.
But it's like splitting image, but like opposites.
Why? Because we're brown, Joey?
Yeah.
Gosh dang it, dude.
No, we talked about this before, but we have this issue where if no one plans the trip, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And I'm usually the one that plans it,
right,
because I do the research, I do the time to make it right.
Mm-hmm.
And we're wondering if there's a better way to do that, because like I enjoy it, but it's also a lot of work. Sometimes you just want to go on a trip and pay and have fun.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I hired a wedding planner. I was not planning my own wedding.
Right.
But what part do you have difficulties with on planning everything?
It's the commitment, which is obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have people commit and then don't pay, or you have people that pay and don't commit. It's always a struggle where, and you always have to front the money yourself almost. And then it's like you're shuffling like, okay, this person backed out, so you got to pay this much instead. And yeah, it's mostly commitment is what it is.
Okay. I mean, I guess for me is being in sales, I have no problem reaching out to people. So if you haven't paid, I'll call you, man, every day. I don't care if you're ignoring me. Like,
I think that's the problem. That's the problem I have is I'm too passive, and if someone doesn't pay me, I feel guilty asking them for money, even though they owe me money.
Right. Yeah, I get that. And
the question is like, do I sound like an asshole when I say, "Hey, you owe me $6"?
Yes, not just kidding.
But you really do owe me $6.
I do, yeah. I know. I got that money in the card.
I feel like you're an asshole every month when you ask for rent. I'm like, dude, come on, let me live here for free.
I'm not a charity case.
but you know what? Here's the thing. Let's say you're an asshole. So what?
I'm still planning the trip. I don't know. Yeah,
that is true. Don't look at me, guys. Like, I pay everything. God damn it. I commit, man.
I'm just looking at you guys
can't plan.
You know the situation, and he doesn't. But
it's tough.
Joey, we've gone through this with multiple groups of friends. We've taken various trips, and it comes up. It's stuff like that comes up. Eddie, I know when you're planning out stuff, you kind of, to me, it seems like you have like, not I want to say payment plans, but
he's got a layaway set up and shit.
You plan. It seems like you plan way far in advance, which is good, and you give time for people to get their shit together or whatever, and then, if you're the one that puts the on your card, it gives you time and everyone to work it out,
save up money
and whatnot. I imagine that helps out with getting people to commit to at all, or.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes it easier having the resources to put it all on my card and then just
this guy's scoring the points. And
yeah,
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, dude. I'm getting 10,000 points for that trip.
Damn. That's basically a flight.
Yeah, but no, that's true. Being able to put it all on one card and just giving people options, is you don't want to tell people what to do, but at the same time, you want them to have a say in what they want to do.
Right.
So, for our trip, what I did is I had 3 options laid out. I had the let's ball out, like money's not an issue package, and I made another one for like we're still gonna have a good time and quote unquote baby ball. Then we had the I'm just trying to stick to a budget sort of plan.
I'm just showing up. I'm here so I don't get fined.
So exactly. Yeah, so I just sent out a survey, went on Google, created a survey, sent it all out to all of us, and then see where the majority stand and go from there.
This guy's the whole 9, man.
Very
Joey's in love.
So, can I join you on some of these trips?
Yeah, dude, we need to hang out more often, man.
Dude, you want me to get his number for you? Or
bro.
Start a group chat, guys. We'll get it going.
So yeah, basically you find all your resources. You do, like I said, you're very good at doing all the research and everything, getting everything down to the T. And then from there, here's your options. Go from there. That's pretty cool.
If I would have guessed this guy was an engineer, honestly, the way you act and talk.
That's what my parents wanted me to be.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
What kind?
They said I don't care. You just have to be some sort of engineer.
You have to.
Yeah, or it's a stereotypical engineer, and then my second choice was an attorney, and then my third choice was a doctor.
Yeah, what's real?
Right.
So I know that you're going on a trip here pretty quick to Europe, I believe.
Yeah.
You also put a PowerPoint together for that, right? It's my understanding. Project proposal
for your friends.
This is your friends.
How's that?
Dude,
how's that?
I feel like a scrub now. I need to step my game up.
Give me a little insight on that.
Just blew my mind.
Well, basically, I had a little meeting with everybody. It's a small group this time. Last year I took a big group, but this time it's just 4 of us. And kind of just, bullshitted and, what do you guys want to do? Where do you guys want to go? What do you, that sort of thing. So based on what I collected, then I was able to plan certain places to go to. And then, I just laid it all out in writing as far as where we would go, how long we would stay, how much everything costs, and just lay it all out so that way when it comes down to commitment, there's no well, I don't know how much time I need to take off. I don't know how much money I need. I don't know if I have enough time to save. It's basically you're selling your friends, you know. So
Right.
I come in with my proposal and I'm selling you like you're about to go on this trip.
So awesome.
You should be doing this for money.
Seriously.
A trip planning, is that a career?
I would hire him, dude, at
Yeah.
this point.
How much would
Maybe.
you pay someone to plan your 1 or 2 week trip to Europe?
I don't know.
Here's a better question: is how much do you want to pay for your trip to Europe? I'll take my cut out of that total price.
Jesus, already fucking thinking about it, guys. Fuck, dude.
10% commission.
That's crazy, guys. There's a lot of pressure right now. I don't know.
Before the end of the show, you're gonna be signed up to go.
I am, dude. Before I leave here, I'm gonna pay him somehow.
Thanks for being on our podcast.
Like, what?
Hey,
What just happened?
you can go to Vegas. Open invite.
Ooh.
What
Jay, we'll talk about
what month are you guys going?
We're going in October 5th.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's plenty of time.
It's a
Yeah.
good month.
I was
Yeah.
thinking like next month. I'm like,
No.
So was
I
I.
have to think about it.
believe it's a week before their actual wedding. I think.
Oh.
Yeah,
Maybe.
2 weeks before.
That's
So
good.
we had enough time to. I was telling JoJo this is expensive. Like people are dropping thousands to go,
Yeah.
but it's so far in advance that we were telling people, you're creating a savings account for this trip.
Divide the months by
Yeah.
the total.
Like, yep, and then automate it
Right.
so it's a bill.
That's awesome. Dang, dude.
Basically setting up a layaway plan for people.
Yeah, exactly, man.
That's hilarious.
I need some of your organization skills to rub off on me for sure.
So do you like sub out any of your work to other friends, or do you do it all yourself? Like, do you do it with your wife?
Oh yeah, my wife's she's very organized as well.
Yeah.
You guys watch Friends at all? Have you guys seen that show?
Yeah.
Okay, she's Monica, man.
Holy. That's awesome.
Yeah. I can't eat cookies on the couch. No crummies allowed. But she's awesome at the same time.
What other hobbies do you have? Sports, video games,
DJing.
drinking, DJing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
For like quinceañeras or like
Just for me.
wedding. Okay, just in your little living room.
Yeah. Bedroom DJ or for our house parties, I'll come on DJ. I was
Uh-huh.
telling Ruben if you guys have something, I'll just come out and DJ. But yeah, I just
You do it for fun.
I just got curious. I won this little tiny like wannabe mixer at work, super cheese, like a $50 mixer, and then
Yeah.
started messing around with that. I'm like, cool, I have ideas, but this mixer doesn't support what I'm trying to do.
Right.
And I just got it big, and next thing you know, I have a 4-channel, deck going. So
Jesus.
yeah,
It's pretty legit, by the way.
Yeah?
I've seen it. It's pretty legit.
Is that something you would do as more than a hobby, or no?
maybe. See, I was talking to Ruben about this. Is the problem with monetizing it is I feel like I need to cater to other people. If I do it for, like you said, quinceañeras or other parties, now I got to play what they want to play.
Right.
And that's where the fun ends. For me, it's playing
That's
what
true.
I want to play.
There's no originality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I could see that. That's a question I always had, is like, when you turn a hobby into something that makes money, when does it become a job? And then when it's a job, you start to dislike it.
Yeah.
So
I've always wondered how DJs even get their foot in the door. Is it quinceañeras? Like, did Avicii play, like
Yeah,
birthday parties?
where did he start?
Like, or is it like just fucking...
is that a rhetorical question? Otherwise, I have an answer for that.
Do you really? No, dude. Knowledge me.
So the DJ I learned, we're gonna go a little bit prologue here. So DJ I learned from as I was on YouTube. I was like, I don't know how to work this thing. So I went on YouTube and I found a few DJs. I found this DJ's name is Laid Back Luke, and he has videos on how to DJ, the basics, getting started. So I learned everything from him, and then I found out that years ago he had his own forum, which I don't think forums even exist anymore, do they?
For cars.
Yeah.
yeah, I think just cars.
Just cars now.
I guess, would you call Reddit a forum?
Yeah, I guess so.
Still
Yeah.
technically,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
So yeah, he had a forum going on, and it was a forum on producing music, and Avicii was part of Laid Back Luke forum,
okay.
and he would send his music to Laid Back Luke, who was an established DJ already, and that's basically how we got to start.
So it's a who you know.
You can fact
It's a
check
who you
this.
know.
Who you know, not what you know.
Fact checking.
Dude, did you eat your cherry?
I did.
Isn't it amazing?
Oh man, you
Yeah.
guys chugged that. I feel
Yeah. What the hell?
I'm thirsty. Sorry.
Have I made you an old fashioned before?
No, actually.
Did you?
I think
is that
last
the
time I
first-
ever old fashioned.
No. Is it the first time you had you had the cherry? Is it the first time you had my cherry?
Is that a trick question?
Joey.
You know, who's,
Okay.
I was just saying, you know who's got good old fashions? Blue Hound.
Oh yeah.
Those are really good.
Bitter and Twisted is good too.
Oh
I
yeah.
heard.
Yeah. But you're spending like $12.
All right, guys, you guys need to invite me out more often. This is where I'm missing.
Right.
Yes.
Do you find yourself having a lot of free time, or are you usually pretty busy? Like, if we want to hang out, is it like, oh no, I'm booked till 3 weeks from now?
Here's the thing: is I hate when people say I don't have time because it's how you manage your time. It's making time. So if you guys, invited me out, I would work my schedule into it. So
Okay.
this podcast, I made time for it.
Damn, we're important.
That's awesome. That makes me feel loved already. You're in.
But if it's someone you don't want to hang out with, you're not going to make time for them, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But I'm not gonna ghost them. That's one of my pet peeves. I'll tell them I don't want to hang out
Yeah.
in nice ways.
That's
yeah.
good.
Stretching the truth a little.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll come up with an excuse, but it's a true excuse. You know, I'm
Mhm.
doing what I'm saying I'm doing. But
Right.
Are we gonna get another one or no?
I am
Are
good.
you
I don't
trying
know.
to take advantage of me?
A little bit. A little bit.
I don't know if I have enough bourbon left.
All right, never mind. I need water.
Seriously? How about a
Or,
Heineken?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's true.
It's almost the same.
These are really strong. Don't they usually put some syrup in these too, or is it just literally just bourbon?
Simple syrup, but I put sugar in.
Oh, sugar?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's I put orange bitters, aromatic bitters, clementine rind, which it should be orange, and then bourbon and Cuba sugar.
Did you look this up or did you just know it by heart?
My buddies made it before,
Yeah.
and we've kind of like tinkered with it. So, no, I have not looked it up.
Okay.
I have looked it up, but it's different than what I've
Yeah.
seen. Do you like it?
Yeah, dude, I love it.
It's
good.
not my favorite bourbon, but I really like Basil Hayden's if you are into bourbon at all and know what that is.
I'm into enough to drink it all the time.
Yeah. All right. Not a lot of people like old fashions or bourbons or whiskeys or scotches
Bourbon or whiskey
or scotch.
or scotch?
Probably scotch.
Scotch.
Yeah.
Well, I've got some if you want some more, but you know,
I got.
if you don't want to crash that Evo out
yeah,
there.
I know,
then-
man. I get cocky when I drink and drive. I don't.
Uh-oh. He
Yeah.
does not.
Wait, wait, wait,
drive.
wait.
You don't.
Wait.
You don't. You don't.
Yeah,
You're just kidding.
disclaimer.
You don't drink and drive. You're just kidding about that.
His face. Oh shit.
Yeah.
You don't even have to edit that out.
I drink and drive on the way to my job. I'm gonna quit.
No, I mean. No, I mean I don't actually drink and drive. No, I really don't. But if I drink and then wait a while, there's that slight. I'm not drunk, but there's stages of drunk. So there's like the talkative where you start talking a little bit more, but you're not buzzed. Just getting there gets me a little excited to downshift and stuff.
You just recently did some work on your car, didn't you?
What kind of car do you have? Let's start with that.
I have a 2010 Evolution 10. If anybody knows what that is.
Is that the last model they made? Is it 10?
Yeah, it's the last model. Not the last year. 2015 was the last year, but yeah, last model.
Okay.
For anyone that's listening, it's a Mitsubishi vehicle. It's a.
Do your own research. Don't tell him, Ruben.
I'm sorry. Buddy.
That's awesome. How much money do you have in that car now?
Dude, not even as much as you would think.
Did you buy it new?
No, dude. I bought it from this mom and pop that didn't even know what they had.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
So you ripped them off.
No, I mean, I think it was fair. That was my pitch. It was a fair. No.
Stretching the truth.
This guy's a salesman. Don't believe anything he says.
No, actually, yeah, I got a good deal on it just because those cars are kind of, I guess, upmarked, in a sense, just because of supply and demand, I think.
Rare, yeah.
But if you look it up on KBB, it was priced to what KBB says, but even then, people sell them for more than what KBB says.
Yeah, there's market value
Yeah.
and there's KBB.
Yeah, exactly. So market value was higher, but KBB had it lower, so I bought it for what they thought was fair.
There you go.
KBB usually aims lower than the market value. Is that
Depends.
Or
I
it
think.
depends.
And
Yeah.
sometimes they're even overpriced.
Oh, really?
It's really like demand. It's really demand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Something like their cars is going to be flip flopped.
yeah.
Yeah, I imagine your guys' vehicles are very high demand. No, wait. Yeah, high demand, low supply.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
okay.
I don't know if I told the story, but when I was looking for my car, it took me about 6 months to find the one I wanted, just because they'd be on the lot and they'd be gone. And then if it was something that was on the lot, it wasn't something I wanted. So,
Yeah.
But
Same boat. Yep.
So how many races have you won?
I never lose. No, I'm joking. You know what? Surprisingly, other than I've never taken this one to the drag strip. Surprisingly, because I was rocking the stock clutch for the longest time.
Okay.
But B is I don't get a lot of people wanting to race me. I don't know why.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah.
I only do when I go to the west side, and then it's all civics.
Okay.
Are you on AZ Street Heat?
No.
Okay, it's this Facebook group. It's savage.
Do you listen to podcasts at all?
Yeah.
Specific ones?
So I listened to the James Alcatraz show. Have you guys heard of that one?
No.
Nope.
Great one. I highly recommend. I listened to Tim Ferriss. You guys heard Tim
Ferriss, yeah.
Super motivational.
And I listened to Jim Quick. And funny, his name's Quick because they're like quick podcasts, about 15 seconds or 15 minutes long. Yeah. So they're like brain hacks, how to do stuff better. So.
Ours are not quick.
It's kind of tough too because I feel like since we have jobs, certain opinions could be viewed in a certain way, So like we have to be very careful as well.
Oh, yeah, like
of
in
what
a
we say.
professional setting.
Yeah.
Right.
Of what we say. So
I can see
Yeah,
that.
it's kind of taboo, like politics, religion. You don't talk about that shit at work. I don't know.
You guys don't?
Do you?
Yeah.
all the
Really?
conversations I feel like.
Yeah, it's kind of like
It's
don't ask, don't tell, if you
Mm.
will.
yeah.
Is it different for you?
Yeah, I guess so. At our work it is, yeah. I mean, not from upper management, but within peers, yeah. I guess there's a lot of that going around.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get to know your coworkers? That was the one thing that we talked about. Like, do you like to get to know your coworkers and stuff like that, or do you keep them as just coworkers? Like, if you're to like, oh, let's go out and go grab a beer, you would do that, or do you just like, you know what, work's work. I come here, do my thing, leave, and that's it.
For the most part, work is work. I mean, I get to know them, but yeah, I mean, there's a select few that I would invite over. I think you met one of my coworkers, Mari, and her friend. So yeah, there's just a few, but for the most part, keep it separate.
Come to think of it, I
Small.
don't hang out with anyone from my work outside of work. Maybe like a happy hour here or there, like a work function.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, oh, hey, I'm doing this weekend. You want to come hang out? I don't have that.
Yeah, I feel like there's only like a handful of people I like actually trust at work to be myself around too. So like, I can see that, but I think it is important to get to know your coworkers just so you can be comfortable. But I don't know how like your day-to-day life is. Like, how much do you interact with the coworkers? Are you usually out trying to, I guess, get new clients or do whatever you do?
No, I mean, it's like office setting, so I don't have to go meet clients or anything. But yeah, I mean, I get to know everybody within I guess, my department, and as long as we're doing the same thing, but I don't go outside.
Can you explain your daily grind?
Are
to
you
us?
like in a cube? Do you just have a phone? Like, what do you do?
I used to have 2 phones.
Whoa.
I used to be like Kevin Gates over here, but they took that away. And so yeah, I just have 1 phone now.
Demoted.
No, you know what it was is one. I don't know if this is interesting now, but we used to have one phone that recorded calls and then another phone that wasn't recorded. So we had a lot of people doing shady stuff on the non-recording line, and everyone got fired except for me and this one other lady.
Holy.
And then they just took it away. Just,
Why would they have the non-recorder phone there for?
Is this a secure line?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
Just to
It's like
catch you in the
yeah,
act.
probably.
It's a fucking trap.
I have no
Of course
idea
it
why.
was.
I wasn't gonna question it. I was like, cool, I got 2 phones. But no, I mean, honestly, my everyday. This is what I'm trying to leave. Is just I need to be stimulated. I need to like either be solving something, like coming to a solution, or just learning something new. And right now, it's just neither of that. It's I just call people and I do the same thing over and over, and I just can't do that.
You could be replaced by a robot.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Not literally, but
yeah. It's. I feel like a lot of people I work with are very robotic. They have no problem just saying the same thing over and over, and they're very complacent, and that there's nothing wrong with that. If you're happy with what you're doing, then that's cool. I respect that, but I'm just always looking to learn something new.
better yourself.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense. At work, I do various types of structures for engineering wise, and I'm buildings. I've done cranes. I've done curtain walls. It's
Flex.
what?
Yeah, what the hell?
Sorry,
Flex on a roof.
sorry. Just no, but it's change. Like my work, it always is constantly changing. I'm doing different things, and it keeps it interesting. I can see what you're saying. It's you want to change it up, learn more, and do different things. That's awesome. Well, in order to get where you're at, Eddie, I imagine you've had some failures along the road. Like what are some that you've come across?
Trials, tribulations.
Yeah, dude, a lot of stuff. And that's the thing is, I guess a lot of people don't talk about what they suck at. And that's something
It's like a token interview question. What are your weaknesses?
kind of, yeah. And then, the person interviews, tries to make their weakness a strength and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But, no, you know what? Going back to like the first, I guess is the biggest thing I regret, which I don't because I learned from it. But so that year I made, like I said, $80,000. I blew it all. I didn't know anything about money, dude. I've never been around money. I just had it, and then I didn't know how to manage it, and I just had nothing to show for it. And my fucking bank account was just a diary of everywhere I went to eat. I'd go out to a fancy restaurant on a Tuesday, man. I just, for no reason. I got fat. I don't know if I showed you my fat pictures.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I need to see those.
Yeah, I'll show them to you.
$500 lobsters on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean,
straight
close
up
to
yuppie,
it.
dude. It's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing I learned from it, and I took that mistake and I said, how can I keep this from happening again? And I read this book, which I highly recommend, whether you're good with money or not. It's called "I Will Teach You to Be Rich."
Is that what made you realize you were making mistakes?
Well, I guess I realized that the next year came and I made less. Sales goes up
But
and down.
spending the same.
Yeah, and I was like, what's going on now? I can't go out on a Tuesday. Only Fridays. No more Tuesday going out, So, yeah, I was just really ashamed and embarrassed about it.
What was the book called? You didn't say the author's name.
I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi.
Okay.
I gift that book so much. Like, if someone complains, like, I don't have money, blah, blah, and I can read through the lines, I'll just give them that book. And whether they choose to read it or not, I mean, I did my part, so
Yeah.
the rest is on them.
Do you do a lot of reading by chance?
Yeah, dude, I love
Yeah.
reading, yeah. So-
Complete opposites. I
Yeah.
have not read a book since 8th grade or 7th grade, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Same.
There's-
I can't read.
Yeah.
You can do audiobooks on your commute.
True.
I almost fell asleep doing that once.
Puts you straight to sleep.
Yeah.
I find myself listening or reading to a lot of nonfiction books now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I would say like self-help things, but like finances or business or whatever. And it's like, I don't know. It's kind of...
What do you recommend?
I can't say I recommend a specific book, but I'm a big proponent of Dave Ramsey and his philosophies of just getting out of debt. But have you listened to him at all?
I hate Dave Ramsey.
Dang.
His financial model is everything I disagree with.
It's very like big picture, but
Yeah.
I'm not following his steps because
Yeah.
I'm not really part of it. But if there's someone who doesn't know how to handle their finances,
Yeah.
I tell them just listen to this guy because they're just simple, like easy steps to follow.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you...
Yeah, I feel like you said, for someone who doesn't know, it's a good starting point. But I feel like also his teachings are very, you can't live your life. He's very against, if you were to tell him you're going to go out in Vegas and buy bottle service, this guy would shame you to death. You
Yeah.
know? Whereas this book I talk about by, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, it's more about spend more on what's important to you and learn to spend less and cut back on what's less important to you. So prioritize your spending,
Right.
If you want to go out and spend $1,000 on bottle service in Vegas, then you go out and do it. Like, live your life, have fun, but do it responsibly. Like, set a budget for it, like put money aside to it,
Right.
And do what you want to do responsibly.
Yeah, Dave Ramsey's like, if you're in debt, you should be eating canned food and rice until you pay off your debt, which is kind of like, come on, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I said, I don't like follow everything he does to a T or believe everything he does, but it's just a good starting point of like, it's basically just like you said, budgeting for things, putting the money you can towards your debt, pay it off, then you can like live how you want to live. But also, I agree, doing things you want to do, because you are not happy when you're just spending all your money paying your debt off.
Eating rice and canned food.
Yeah.
You are only on this planet one time, know?
That's true.
That's the... going back to the Gordon Ramsay thing, just I don't go. God,
Dude,
Dave Ramsay, damn it.
Let's see where you stand.
I just had a question. I've never read anything or really know much about him. The only thing I know, Joey, is just what you told me in talking. But the whole eating beans and rice, I understand that's like, or beans and canned food.
He says beans
cheap.
and rice and beans is what his motto is. Yeah.
It's a cheap stuff, right?
Yeah.
Is there any point at that? Is that to help build character at all?
Like discipline?
Yeah, discipline. Is that part of?
I wouldn't say so.
You wouldn't say, okay.
It's his teachings are like, he kind of mixes in like the Bible and finances together.
Okay.
Which, take it as you will, but it's like he takes these Bible verses that are relevant or semi-relevant to spending money or controlling your finances.
Okay.
That's the only way I could think it's kind of like I don't know,
discipline,
philosophical or like discipline. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I remember my professor coming out of college. He said, "Stay poor. Like if you're already, doing the college life and you're figuring it out, just stay living that way after a couple years of college, and you could pay off debts. You could do a bunch of stuff. It just if you get out of college and you just have all that money and you start spending it the way you want, it's really hard to start cutting back,
right?
And then start paying debts. So that's my only input on that. I don't listen to Dave Ramsey.
If the money isn't there, you don't see it, you won't spend it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
rice and beans was life. So
ramen, whatever.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
I actually just bought some ramen recently. I do love those ramens. It's 25 cents, bro.
It's not even about the money. It's good.
All that salt, that sodium.
Throw an egg in there.
Dude, I hate that. Like, I hate sweating after I eat.
Dude, you just have a problem. You have E. coli. What?
That's true.
Come on.
Both you and me sweat the same though. So
yeah. I mean, I don't sweat when I eat ramen.
You don't sweat when you eat ramen?
No.
What's wrong with you?
Dude, speaking of sweat, so I found these pads that you put on and you don't sweat for a whole week, like on your armpits.
Is it?
I don't know if I like that.
Wait.
Dude, what?
It like absorbs it, or it's like testosterone or something?
No, it's not testosterone. It's called Sweat Block. It's on Amazon, 5 stars. Look it up. But you put it on once, like on Monday.
Yeah.
And it lasts anywhere, I guess, because people have different sweat glands, but anywhere between 4 days and like 7 days.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
What?
Isn't that like super bad for you though? Like, don't you need
would
a sweat?
think,
Yeah.
but to not get into all the research, it's just as dangerous as regular deodorant.
That makes
Aluminum and all that shit.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't sweat at all. I think he has an issue.
No,
That's
I
true.
do. I saw you yesterday.
Yeah, dude, I was dripping sweat and you weren't sweating at all.
I was glistening.
I don't know.
Glistening. This guy mows the lawn middle of summer in Arizona, and he's like, "Yeah, I might need a little drip off."
Yeah, I don't have sweat glands. It's weird.
So crazy.
I don't think that's honestly. I think that might be a health problem.
Yeah,
But YOLO, right?
I mean,
Or evolution.
ooh,
Hey.
ooh. Eddie will be back on this podcast more often. I need someone to help me out. I'm always get made fun of.
We do pick on him. We love you, Ruben.
Isn't that funny though?
For you guys, not for me. Eddie, going back to, when you're saying you had quite a bit of money and everything, but kind of like, how long do you think it took you to, I guess, realize that? and then kind of reshape everything? I understand you read the book and everything, but how long do you think it took you to realize like, oh crap, and then kind of take that and then turn it around for you?
Yeah, I guess I don't know if there was a turning point, but it was, I guess it was a time when everybody, I used to hang out with JoJo when she was at ASU, and I was already working for this company. I've been there for a while now, and, I just go out and buy Patron shots for everybody, and I thought it was cool. And just waking up and not having money to do other stuff that I wanted to do, just not having, like I said, anything to show for it. Like,
But you realized it yourself?
Yeah, I just realized it. I mean, I guess I feel like I was progressing a lot during my late teens, 19, 20, and then...
That's crazy to hear. As a teenager.
I mean, but realistically, that's crazy, like, for someone to get that...
Yeah, well, what happened is, like, I slowed down. I was getting to where I wanted to be, and I guess in my mind is... Oh yeah, I made it, man. Like okay. I'm like 23 and I made it. Like I got a house, I got a good job, I got a girlfriend. Like what else is there? That's all that society told me that I needed. Was a significant other. You own a house and you have a good job. I was like, that's it. Got it made. And then I just got complacent, and then I realized I had nothing to show for it. So that's kind of when I was like, all right, I need to get back to my true self and who I was 3 years ago, and keep that ball moving.
Dang, that's pretty good.
Ruben is telling me you bought your second house recently.
Yeah, last year.
Okay.
Yeah, we bought it.
You sold the other one, bought a new one.
Yeah, so we were renting it out for a while, and it was just a pain because it was out of town out in Buckeye, and stuff was breaking. It wasn't really that great of a house after all. But
you're spending more money on it than you were.
Yeah,
making.
I mean, I was still making it, but it just wasn't worth the headache, I guess. And I just thought we could use the equity into a nicer home in the area we wanted to be in.
Yeah. What city are you in now?
Technically, I'm in Scottsdale. There was an ongoing joke. I live on the border, but it's a good border. It's the border of Scottsdale and Phoenix because my zip code is Scottsdale, but my water and stuff comes from the city of Phoenix.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird. Yeah.
I happened to go over his house. Was it 2 weeks ago?
This newer one in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Last weekend, right?
No,
you're right.
It was about 2 weeks ago. His backyard is beautiful. What are
you trying to say?
You need more work.
It does, actually.
I was talking to your wife, and she was hilarious because she was saying how about your guys' grass and how you were watching because you guys recently just planted new grass and everything, and you tend to go out there and beat off some birds and stuff like that, or
that's hilarious. You're watching grass grow and it's probably whispering sweet nothings to it.
I spent a whole day watching grass grow. So what happened is
what the hell?
We're in Arizona, right? So we don't have grass, man. And ever since I come into Arizona, I just wanted grass for some reason. I don't know why.
Because you're not in the drought in California. Is that why?
Well, actually, when I left California, there was no drought.
No.
But yeah, so I got here and there was a little patch of grass and there was dirt, so I knew there was potential for grass.
Right.
So I started seeding, man. I started doing some research and and then but my seeds were getting eaten up by the birds.
Yep.
And it was still growing. I mean, they can't eat everything, but it was just growing slowly. So one day I just dropped a whole bunch of seeds and I just stood there with the broom and just waited them out.
The whole day?
The whole day, man. Until the sun went down, because there's not many birds after the sun goes down. So they'd come up thinking they got their free man. I'd just go out there with the broom and start whacking at them.
So you were like a real life scarecrow, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. You got to get yourself like a pellet gun or a little,
I was going to say that,
little airsoft gun.
Yeah.
Sit your ass in a chair and drink some old fashions. Shoot some pigeons.
Yeah.
Awesome. You gotta do what you gotta do out here for some grass, man. That's the dream though too. I want a place that has a lot of grass, a lot of green stuff.
Being a homeowner is another animal.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, it is.
I'm probably not gonna go into that for a while.
Same.
So we'll talk about it.
Yeah, man. Funny thing about it, homeownership is not necessarily always the way to go.
No. Depends, case by case.
That's a whole other podcast we can go into.
Yeah.
We talked about
part 2.
We talked about mortgages, but we haven't talked about owning a house yet. So
curious. So you own this house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a 30-year fixed on it, or
I do? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that your choice or did someone?
Yeah, that was my choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, I talk to a lot of people and they don't really know. They just feel like, all right, my lender said this, I'm gonna go with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And,
I picked a 30-year and I pay it at a 15-year rate.
Okay.
So
We had like a really in-depth episode with one of our friends who does like mortgages and stuff, and it was super in-depth. And
I learned a lot.
yeah, it was crazy amount. If you guys want to learn,
he
about
probably
it.
knows everything about it already.
Yeah,
but
you for sure.
You
do.
never know,
Yeah.
but I would be curious to listen to it.
So right before this podcast, we were talking about eating greens. You were talking about eating greens in powder format.
Yeah.
You wanna?
You guys heard about that before?
No.
I actually take it.
You
Wait,
do?
what?
Yeah.
Which one?
I think it's really called. Fuck. It's called Super Greens.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember the brand. It's from like Target.
So Eddie, I would say you're one of the people that are really into fitness. You're
fitness.
yeah.
You said
fitness.
you're pretty big, and now you're not big anymore. So
I went from
What are you trying to say?
super
You're
skinny
skinny?
to super fat to I think I'm in between now.
No homo, bro. I saw him without a shirt on. He's got that six pack going on.
dang,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
Washboard.
it's
Did you
washboard
start washing your shirt on him?
a little bit.
There
It's
you
because
go.
he drinks old fashions and not Michelob.
You know
Yeah.
what? I didn't drink for a month and a half to like cut weight
Holy.
this past. That was pretty rough.
Yeah, I can't do that.
And yourself, you say you saw a noticeable difference from that month and a half. Would
Yeah.
you say?
Yeah, dude, I did. It was it's hard to say. I guess just not as bloated. You know, I feel like I was I don't know. This could be just mindset, but burning more fat than I would otherwise. So
Fun fact: alcohol lowers your testosterone levels.
yeah, yep.
So it's a big deal. So like you would naturally burn more fat if you just don't drink
Yeah.
as a man.
So we're all turning into women by drinking, I guess.
Is that why my tits are getting bigger?
Yeah, dude. my nips are sensitive too, so starting to lactate maybe.
Is that why mine are chapping when I start running and stuff?
Yeah, dude.
Damn it.
Do you like kayaking?
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
seen my Facebook?
I just looked it up.
Yeah. Not particularly. it was something new. I was like, yo, let's do this.
Do it for the gram.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
You know, I'm not really big on pictures like that, you know.
Yeah.
But
I need to see
my
this.
wife took that. She's big on taking pictures. I'm more of a live for the moment type of guy.
Yeah.
You don't care what people think about your social media.
I feel like
whatever.
I lie to myself, but I feel like everyone does care what other people say, and I just I fight to not care what people think.
I don't think I've changed my profile picture in like 2 years or something. on
Yeah,
Facebook.
we need to start being like more up there on social media.
Are you
and stuff.
serious?
For us and
For
this
the podcast? Yeah. Well, I try,
Like-
but you know,
Just saying.
so can one of you be like a fucking
You
social
guys,
media manager?
You guys want me to start making sales calls? Sponsors?
Just
Dude, we
cold
just
call.
hired Eddie.
Dude, that's what I did. I just cold emailed
Yeah.
6 distilleries, and 3 responded.
What
That's
if,
all I did.
How about, all right, I was telling Rue about this. You can set up an automated system to start sending these emails for you and sending follow-up emails for you, and all you have to do is collect their information and add them into a database.
I would tell me where do I sign the dotted line.
So, yeah, offline I can get you the information. But basically, yeah, there's software you can use to put everybody into a database, and then you create templates and something called personalization tokens, where it'll say like company, and then it'll say
It fills in the
name, and it
blank.
fills in the blanks
Right,
for you
right.
once you collect information and put it in.
I do have an email company, I guess you'd call it, that I signed up for. That when people are signed up for the newsletter, it sends emails like that, personalized by name and all that and that jazz. But
yeah.
but using it for, I guess, companies is a different story.
Yeah. So you could even, I'm just throwing it out there because I'm looking into business development, is LinkedIn is huge, on growing your business. So what I would do is you can search people on LinkedIn based on where they work, their position there, grab their information, and then send them the email regarding the sponsorship you're looking for.
Nice.
That's true. Dang, dude.
I don't know. We're only
What you know?
we're only 6 episodes into like iTunes, but is there ever such thing as too soon?
No, I don't think so. And I'm pretty amazed at already how many people like listen to it. I don't
Are you?
know. I don't know that many people.
I saw a stat that 90% of podcasts have less than like 100 downloads in a month.
Oh wow.
So
really?
Beginning wise, or just
just
like
in general.
In general, okay.
Yeah. And I mean, at the rate we're going, we have more than 100 a month.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty dope.
So
Eddie, if you don't mind, just
Insta
spread the word.
famous.
Not yet.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
just friends and family.
Spread the word though, man. If you
Yeah.
can.
That's the thing is about this podcast is I've been doing a lot of research and
Yeah.
it's fun learning new things like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know shit about editing videos, audio, hardware, software, marketing, like none
Yeah.
of that. Like 6 months ago.
Joey's the one man. It's pretty much Joey and with Steven and Ruben. He does.
We're the comedic relief.
yeah,
Comedic
yeah.
relief,
So
I gave them the job of creating content and that's about it.
I think we've done a pretty good job at that.
Yeah.
It's been okay.
So, for anyone who's listening, Joey's the main guy. So if you guys have podcast questions, just background, ask Joey, not Steven or I, because we're gonna just tell you to.
I'll bullshit you.
I'll stretch the truth
Yeah.
about it.
I can't even get you guys to fucking get me an extra view on the YouTube or
What?
iTunes.
Well, it turns
I
out
watched
I can't
all
download
episodes.
iTunes on my phone.
Did-
So,
I'm gonna
can't.
throw this fact out there,
uh-oh.
and Ruben's gonna fact check me.
Okay.
Do it.
Ruben has not listened to a single podcast episode in full.
Can you prove it?
I will
No, I'm
kill-
asking
I will
you.
kill you, dude. Not one?
I listened to the intro one.
Oh my god!
I listened to episode 00.
The 30
Why
minute,
is that though?
the 30-minute episode?
Why is that?
I hate listening to myself.
I knew it.
Yeah, I hate my voice. I don't like listening to myself. Yeah. That's the reason why.
It's weird.
Who does though?
Like listening to themselves?
Yeah.
So,
I'm not gonna
You
lie.
like it?
I kind of like
I
it.
don't.
Does it stroke? Does it stroke the ego?
so
I don't care one way or the other.
I did listen. So I do listen to other podcasts because they're better than me and us. I mean, they do.
I mean,
it
we're
for
up there, bro.
Joe Rogan.
Dude, we
Joe Rogan
let's
is like
give him-
10 years in the making or whatever.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's
You
the
don't
thing.
know that.
They do.
this could be 10 years from now. Like, all right, you guys remember we did this podcast in the what kind of room is this? Dining room. You know?
This is the studio room.
Yeah.
There you go.
You never know.
One of the things, though, I was listening to one of Joe Rogan's podcasts. He's talking to Eddie Bravo, and
Johnny Bravo?
Eddie Bravo, the
That's Johnny
jujitsu that took
Bravo's
down
cousin.
one of the Gracies in jujitsu. It's a big
Sure.
deal.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
I think I'm the only one.
Yeah. So one of the things, though, Eddie Bravo has a podcast as well, but he doesn't listen to his own podcast over after they're done. Joe Rogan was like saying you need to listen to them because that's how you better yourself and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I agree. I just hate. I need to get over that little.
So
Myself.
The best way to get over your fears is to conquer them?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
I don't
but
know.
I got other things I gotta worry about. I'm just saying. No, I'm just kidding.
He doesn't listen to him and he just puts it out there, just raw. Or
I
what?
believe. I'm not too sure.
Sure,
he
someone
might
else-
have a
someone else
edit-
edits it.
Yeah, like an editing team, stuff like
Okay.
that. He, the guy's very successful for himself. He doesn't need to. For us, you know, like for us, we Joey does everything.
We have Joey.
Yeah, but for him, he can pay someone to do, you know, all the editing and whatnot. and stuff
Dude,
like
but to be honest with you, it's actually really cool listening to us in the first episode and seeing how much we progressed just on episode 5.
Do you think it's getting better?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
We're kind of like going off on a tangent here.
Yeah,
Talking about
okay.
ourselves. Like,
Sorry.
Right?
yeah,
Sorry.
it's a bad.
have you ever thought about starting a business?
Yeah.
Or
You know, I
like-
did try to start a business. That was another failure. Well, I might come back to it.
Well, is just curious. Was that the one that we
Yeah.
talked about that one time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So what I did is, I started a business, and the big thing is people are like, I don't know what to start a business about, you know?
Yes.
You know, and I read a lot about, I guess, nonfiction, like you said, business books, self-help, all that stuff. And talks about, what is important to you. So, I did some deep thinking, and I'm like, well, what's something that I really love, what I really enjoy? And I'm like, I really love my wife. So I'm like, there's a lot of people that don't have a wife. There's a lot of people who don't know how to get a wife. There are people who don't even know how to get a girl.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm in sales. I have the knowledge, and getting a girl is just like sales. It's the same thing.
What's that guy's name? Dr. Drew? Is it Dr. Drew?
The Love Doctor?
The Love Doctor?
That guy.
I think it's Dr. Drew.
Yeah, I used to listen to Dr. Drew back in the day.
When he was on the radio?
Yeah. So I created a blog, try to help people out, take people where they need to be to get the girl, step by step. And, man, it was pretty damn hard. And I know where I messed up. I guess I went too fast. Kind of like you guys are doing. This is more about fun than business. And I've learned that the most successful business, not always, but a lot of the time, is based on it just being fun at first.
And then it turns into something real.
So I kind of skipped the fun part. I just went straight to, how do I make money off of this? You know?
Yeah.
And that's where I messed up. And the reason why I was trying to get into making money was because I was trying to leave my job.
Yeah.
So I realized, all right, get your shit in line first. Get a good job to where it doesn't need to be about the money, and then revisit that.
That's the problem I have, and finding that balance with this podcast is I wanted to make money. Like, that would be awesome. As a side hobby, like, as long as, even if it paid for itself, which it hasn't yet, and it probably won't for a while, but I don't want to be focused too much on making money on it because I'll detract myself from the fun of it.
Just having fun.
Yeah.
It's just bros hanging out.
But that's a struggle that I have.
Yeah.
Me personally, I could care less.
That's what I'm saying is, like, if we were all, like, invested in this heavily, it may be too much.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm invested in it. This is my first day.
So, Eddie, really quick, just to go back on that thing we were talking about, that which you're trying to set up. We had a topic about it was called ships. We had an episode all about ships, which meant relationships, friendships, and stuff like that. One of the things that we asked, or we kind of talked about, was that say you're on a date. Do you, first date, just in your opinion, do you try or do you be yourself? What I'm going with is that I think when you're on a first date, you kind of want to try to be, not necessarily be yourself, but you're trying to kind of, and the best way I can explain it is like kind of apply for a job, which sounds kind of horrible, but you're trying to bring out the best out of you.
The best way I could put it is you're a highlight reel of yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
just putting the best version of you to begin with, because that's, your first impression. So, this is not as good as it's going to get, but a good idea of what to expect in the future. So, of course, you're going to be less than that. But let's say you on a first day and, it's kind of horrible. Well, it's only going to be downhill from there, generally speaking. So, I guess that's my opinion. It's not necessarily change who you are, but just make sure you're projecting the best version of you.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I think, like, just from my opinion, like, you're on the spectrum of you have to be funny, you have to be this and this and this and that, and kind of the way you made it sound is like you had to be like this person that you're not even, like, you're kind of fake. I guess that's the way I heard it.
Okay.
And then the way that he was saying is like, throw all your best attributes and traits out there. That's like, I know we kind of went back and forth on that. That's what I thought you were saying is like, be this fucking superstar. Like, oh yeah, I'm a superstar. Like, I'm an athlete or something. Like,
oh no, not like
not make stuff up, but like just be.
You're a kickball athlete.
Be extra. Like that's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's of course not lie, because that's who you are. But yeah, kind of. I mean, yeah, you want to try, right? I mean, I think you got to try.
I think the biggest thing is, like, you said you have to be funny, and if you're not a funny person, you can't be funny,
True, dude. I'm hilarious, so like it just works out for
me.
me.
He just gets all the ladies.
I think I'm the funniest person ever to myself, but,
right?
That was a joke.
He's the only one that's single here.
No, I think you do have to try. You do have to try just to make the other person like feel comfortable though too.
Yeah.
So
So we have like a kind of a new segment on the show. I guess you'd call it a segment, whatever. But it's the yuppiest thing that you did this week. And we're talking like traditional yuppie. Like you spent too much money on a bottle of bourbon, or you like bought this car part that was not really necessary, but it's cool. You don't have to start, but just think of that, or like let us know. What was the yuppiest thing you did this week?
I guess book a cabana at Talking Stick pool party.
A pool party, yeah.
It was like $1,500
for it's like a 1 day.
Yeah, 1 day thing.
Yeah. Do you get bottle service?
Yeah.
1, 2?
2.
Okay.
And
sorry.
wait.
Like get it right too, but it's like
Hold on.
a little bit.
So I have a decision once we're there: either 2 bottles of hard liquor or 1 bottle of hard liquor and 2 bottles of champagne.
Oh, it's different.
To be determined.
Just like thinking about that, it's like $7.50 per bottle of alcohol.
Seriously.
So that's not something you would normally spend your money on, but something that's you do for fun.
Yeah, well, you know what? My buddy used to live here. You know Kyle? Have you met Kyle before?
Yeah.
So he moved out here looking for, he's like, you're doing so good. I want to move out here because I feel like there's more opportunity. So moved out here and kind of struggled a little bit. And actually an opportunity opened up back where he used to live. So he actually moved back. He's doing really good now. And I said, hey, man, come visit. Or he said, I want to visit. I don't remember what happened. But he said, I have one request. And it just threw me off because he's not one to spend so much. He was always the guy to say, how much is that going to cost? Or I don't know if I have enough money. And he brought up, hey, I'm going to come. We're going to go to Talking Stick and we're going to do VIP. I was like, whoa, okay, we're doing it then.
Yeah.
If Kyle says we're doing it, like we're doing it,
It's pretty dope.
So
I guess it's kind of a general thing that I've been starting to live by is that I stopped buying cheap alcohol, beer, wine, vodka, bourbon, whatever. So like every time I go to Total Wine or Bevmo or whatever, or even like the local grocery store, I'm always buying something that's like a step above what the average person would buy. So like bourbon, it's like if it's not $40 or $50, I'm not going to buy it because it's probably not as good as it should be. So it's just like you're not spending like too much extra money, but just enough to realize that you're spending enough on something that's good. So an $8 bottle of wine isn't that great, but if you spend $12, $15, $20 on a bottle, it's a lot better. I would say that's like probably the yuppiest thing I did this week.
We're back to me.
One of you two.
Okay.
I don't do any yuppie things.
we're going to interrogate you and find
I
out.
know. You want me to go? Give
Yeah.
you time? Okay. I have a 2-parter. I have one where I feel like I should have yuppied out. In terms of like spending more money. I do like boxing or whatever, and one of my coaches had a fight this weekend, and I bought some tickets, right? And I didn't know, they were just like general admission. So I bought them, I go and I sit down, like there's open seats everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. And I go, it's like super early. So I get like, I'm literally like, the ring is right here, sweat dripping on me. Like, I'm like, holy
This is a
shit.
common theme
In
here.
the splash zone.
You're
so-
anxious again?
Yeah. And so I'm like super hyped about it. There's like a little intermission, and then there's like a couple fights until my coach fights. And this lady comes in, she's like, can I see your tickets? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, here. She's like, yeah, you got general admission? Like, you're supposed to be up there. And I'm like, oh, shit. Well, that kind of sucks. So we went all the way up.
Did you not know, or you were just
I literally didn't know.
playing stupid?
No, I didn't know. Like, I had a feeling, like, why are these all like seats just open? But I got to at least watch like half the event.
Is that why your Snapchat looks so grainy and far away? Like,
Yes, dude. Yeah.
And
I was like, zoom. And then my second part to the story, or not to the story, but the yuppiest thing I did yesterday. It was Monday. and I already had a long work week, so I went and got drunk at Postino's.
Yes.
That place is awesome.
Just wind it up, and got a cheese board and stuff like
Thanks
that.
for the invite.
Yesterday.
Why did you tell me that when I saw you yesterday?
That was right before I went to the gym as well.
TFTI.
Yeah.
I took a pre-workout at work. Oh,
Yo, yeah, go for it.
Three-parter.
Yeah, this is a good story.
Sorry. So, I'm at work, right? And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, I'm about to leave. I'm like pretty tired though. So I was like, let me take a pre-workout just to get going. I never take pre-workouts. I took this, then something just fell on my plate. I had to stay at work. So I'm at work like itchy as fuck because I need to go work out. And like,
Were you sweating though?
a little bit, and like, and you know when you get like, if you ever take pre-workout, you get itchy literally. Yeah, I was itching everywhere. So, yeah, that's my Yuppie story. For the week.
I'm gonna spin off that real quick.
Go ahead.
Speaking of the tickets, unethical life pro tip: get your tickets. Tickets are electronic now. You know, they got that wallet app on iPhones, and you get your email and it pulls up an image. It's got the QR code and they scan it. Just fucking Photoshop the section number. You know how many times I go to sporting events?
That's funny. Sorry.
And they look at your ticket, like they scan it to get in, right?
Yeah.
They don't know where you're going. You go in, they're like, oh, let me see your ticket. You show them the section number. You're in the lower level.
Yeah.
Just find a seat that's open.
That's funny. There's always going to be seats that are open.
What?
Dude,
Okay, so what do you do if someone is sitting where you...
Well, you go and find a seat that's open. You sit there. If someone comes by and says, oh, those are our seats, you just move.
Okay.
But
So go to the Suns game then.
or a Coyotes game. Basically,
Throw shade,
basically any Arizona sports team.
there'll be a seat open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dang, that's awesome.
And nobody knows the wiser, bro.
Gotta brush up on my... I'm glad I didn't know that. Now I'm gonna actually do it.
Try it.
Photoshop skills.
Just try it.
That's funny.
Me over here, I thought I was doing work with my ticket hack. Like, I signed up for this Suns app thing where you can buy the cheapest tickets, like $7 or whatever the cheapest ticket is. And once you're already inside, you can upgrade for 20 to 30, depending on who's playing, down to the lower level. So shit, I thought I had it.
Dang.
It is right here.
That is pretty good though.
Yeah. I mean, don't even have to Photoshop. Just do it in Paint. Like, just make every number look the same, and you're golden.
And in Paint too, like once you copy the color, like it'll give you the whole like the numbers as in 356, 357,
RGB
whatever.
code.
Yeah, there are. Thank you. Yeah.
You can just like do the eyedropper and get the color. And
I feel like we're gonna get comments if we get listeners to this.
Whatever.
Like
I told
saying,
you.
like, fuck these people. Like I tried this, I got kicked out.
I told you, unethical life pro tip.
Do it at your own risk.
There you go. Disclaimer. What
I like it.
And with that, we're done.
Oh, wait,
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening.
What are you talking about? We just started.
We'll switch over to the next one.
You gotta start doing more yuppie stuff, buddy.
I don't do any yuppie stuff.
That's the point of the segment, is to like prove that we're probably not living life the way we should be.
True.
All I did this past week was this weekend. Let's see what
Whatever you did, man. Whatever you did that you think is a young.
Didn't you spend Friday, Saturday, and Sunday drinking, one way or another?
That's
No,
Saturday for sure. I was here.
Friday for sure.
Friday.
He could vouch for Friday.
Saturday you weren't here. Oh yeah.
Yes, I
Well,
was.
Sunday was actually a nice day. I did a me day ish. So Sunday, I don't know. This is yuppie, but this is like a yuppie me day that I think everyone needs to do.
A yuppie me day. I like it.
Yeah, let's go with that. I'll go with that. So woke up. Probably I
Is it
woke.
that picture that we saw?
Was it in a new Bugatti?
That's mine. That's me every morning. I woke up, did my gym thing. It was like, I think I woke up like at 8:30, go to gym. I came home. I went in the pool.
Solo?
Solo. I wanted to go swimming.
Clothes or no clothes?
I don't want to answer that
That's a
question.
good question.
So
I don't want to answer that question.
I just set up some cameras around the perimeter.
No, you're caught.
It's fine. He's seen it before. And after that, I kind of just like hang out at the pool, and I ate like protein and stuff like that after I was done with the gym. But instead of a protein shake, I was like, fuck this. It's a Sunday. I'm going to have a beer, beer in the pool. It was really nice. Pool is still cold, but it was nice. After that, came inside, watched a little bit of TV, showered and everything, went to my parents' house to go visit them and everything, and then come home, and that was it. I think that was an awesome Sunday for me. For me, it was cool because time to myself. I could care less about anything else. That was my yuppie thing.
So
Kind of exclude the outside world, do me and that's it.
I like it. It's the other side of Yuppie.
Sometimes I feel obligated, like I have to have something planned that's social Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's like, you do that every week, and it's exhausting. I don't know if it's just getting older, but
For me, I don't know. I like having people around. It's tough for me to be by myself.
I do,
but all the time,
kind of.
like every weekend.
I used to not be able to eat by myself. Do you know Adam? I used to just show up at his place just to eat. I would eat then leave.
I get you. You can't. I'm the same way. You probably can't go to a movie theater by yourself either.
I don't know.
No, me either.
Did we talk about that?
I want to attempt it. I haven't done it yet, but I kind of want to attempt it.
I always heard that's like really nice to do, is to watch a movie by yourself. I'd go to the movies, but I've never tried it.
Who are you gonna ask questions to?
Right? Did you see that? Oh shit!
So, all right, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
I was gonna say, I fell asleep to the Avengers movie.
But
it
new
was
one?
it was 12 a.m. showing though, so I was pretty tired. And not the whole thing, just like segments. So I woke up, and something's going on. So you lean over and be like,
What happened?
What's going on? You need that sometimes.
I don't like going to the movie theaters because I will 100% will fall asleep. No matter how good the movie is, I just will fall asleep. And I hate going to the movie theaters because of that. Like, I want to go there. If I go, I want to stay awake, but I just don't.
Even if it's not at the theater, he just falls asleep.
It takes me a couple days to watch a movie.
Dude, you finished Thor in one night. I don't know how you did that.
Alcohol. I was bored that day.
Pre-workout, man. Get pumped to go to the movies.
Every time.
There you go. Pro tip.
I think.
Thanks for
Eddie, thank you.
yeah, thanks for hanging out with us.
Seriously, this we greatly appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time. We'd love to have you back.
I had a good time.
Hell yeah.
Is there anything you want to say? Advice? Plug a business?
Any last words?
If for some strange reason you want to reach out to me, my email is edwardmenendez@gmail.com.
That's a mouthful. How do you spell that?
Go.
The whole thing?
No, just your last name.
MENENDEZ.
Yes, I spelled that right on the paper. Yes.
I'm surprised you didn't spell your last name.
I was halfway through and I was like, oh. We'll talk about that later.
Do you care about having your last name on the internet?
No.
Okay.
And that's weird. I don't know. I heard that some people are weird about that, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Not sure why. Maybe they got some skeletons in the closet.
I guess. At first I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, I don't want to. But then I'm like, my name's all over like emails and Facebook, and if an idiot can figure out like who's connected to this podcast.
Yeah,
We'll
they're gonna
find
find
you.
us.
Yeah.
There you go.
My mom, by the way, found the podcast.
She found it?
Yeah, I didn't give her the address or anything like that.
This is why Ruben bothers me. He doesn't even tell his own family about the podcast.
I didn't tell. And then my mom's like, I found it. She was like, so I typed in 3 nerds. It didn't pop up.
That is hilarious.
And then I remember,
Savage.
yeah, she literally sent that to me. I was like, wow, thanks, Mom.
Dude, your mom's the bomb.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. So kudos. Mother, if you listen to this episode, kudos for finding this. Hopefully you make it that far into listening to the podcast.
Maybe she fell asleep.
She probably,
Runs in the family.
yeah. So, well,
Sweet. Thanks, Eddie.
thank you, Eddie.
We out.
We out, bro.
We have.
We out.
Thanks for tuning in to the Yup Life.
If you enjoyed it, leave us a rating and a review on iTunes, or just follow us at the Yup Life Podcast.
We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, iTunes, and Google Play Music.
Stay yuppie.